back to the Compliance Kitchen podcast. This is Sylvia, and today I want to take a look at a recent bank settlement. So this is from November 9, released by the New York Department of Financial Services. They issued a release in regards to a UAE headquartered bank called Mashreq Bank, PSC. The bank has agreed to pay $100 million pursuant to the department's consent order. Again, this is the New York Department of Financial Services, in order to resolve alleged violations of Sudan sanctions regulations. As you guys know, these sanctions have been repealed. However, while they were still in effect, these alleged violations took place, and so the bank has agreed to resolve this and also agreed to additional reporting about its compliance program. Mashreq Bank is an international banking institution. They have more than 37 branches and assets totaling over $44 billion. And the bank is licensed by the department, the New York Department of Financial Services, to operate a foreign branch in New York State. So that's how they have jurisdiction. Along the same lines, we had an OFAC notification to the bank of finding a violation of the Sudan sanctions regulations, and the Federal Reserve Board issued an order to cease and desist, issued upon consent, detailing that from at least 2005 through 2009, the bank lacked adequate risk management, supervision, and oversight of its branches to ensure compliance with applicable OFAC regulations. And from at least 2005 through, again, 2009, certain overseas branches of Mashreq Bank, principally located in London, processed certain US dollar denominated funds transfers through the branch and other unaffiliated US financial institutions involving parties that were subject to OFAC regulations that did not contain relevant information within the payment messages that would be necessary for the branch and other US financial institutions to determine whether these transactions were carried out in a way that was consistent with US law, which then as a result caused violations of applicable OFAC regulations. So the New York Department of Financial Services, or just Department for short, also detailed in its release that the bank instructed its employees to avoid populating certain fields in the payment messages that were sent between banks, so as to conceal the prohibited Sudanese element of these transactions. So this is how they bypassed the sanction filters of other banks, which might otherwise have triggered an alert or a freeze to these transactions. So this resulted in Mashreq Bank processing prohibited payments. They totaled over $4 billion between 2005 and 2009. In 2009, a Swiss bank used by Mashreq Bank to process these transactions rejected a Sudan-related US dollar denominated transaction. The next day, the department tells us, news broke that the Swiss bank was being investigated by the New York County District Attorney's Office for violating economic sanctions rules, and as a result, Mashreq Bank closed all US dollar accounts that were held by Sudanese banks with Mashreq Bank. However, they did not disclose these prohibited transactions to the department as was required by regulation until 2015. So the department also found that between 2010 and 2014, Mashreq Bank's New York branch processed additional Sudan-related prohibited payments that totaled approximately $2.5 million. So there's your background story on this one. Obviously, it is a summary, and if you guys want to take a look at the actual release and the finding of violation from OFAC and so forth, I have links to that for you on compliancekitchen.com.